What's up guys, Corey here, coming to you live this time from Vietnam. So the last few weeks I've actually been traveling a little bit and I'm over here in Vietnam now, actually visiting all of the offices. Because we do work remote, I actually hadn't met all of the team and we recruit so quickly, so it's quite difficult to catch up with all of them. However, over in Vietnam we do have 3 offices. We've got Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City and Da Nang. In Da Nang, I just came from there. That's our 3D team. And then in Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, it's a bit of a mix. But yes, obviously you guys can see the title of the video. In this one, we're going to be going over the reviewed or the new roadmap. So as you guys would have known if you were here in the last roadmap release, the way that we do it is basically try to release roadmaps as things change internally as well, to make sure that you guys are aligned with the developments that we are focusing on currently and the development, I guess, processes and direction that we will be going in the future as well. So the stuff that you will see here, likely beyond Q3, are definitely open to change. That's with timeline, but also the actual things that you see on there. Now, previously, I will show it on the screen. Our old roadmap, you're going to see there's quite a few things that also have changed, and I'll try to give reasoning to you guys as to why they did change, but just know, of course, you guys are with us building live here. So as things develop, as we get new data, as we learn new things are obviously going to change, and that's why we tell you guys, don't take this as gospel, don't take this absolutely literally that we're going to stick to it like the Bible. This is just going to be our estimated roadmap and the things that we plan to be focusing on. Again, things may be added in. Of course, in any of the roadmaps previously, there was no Ares, there was no Themis, there was no Apollo. So there's things that we will be adding on top of all of this. However, this is our current in-game development focus. So let's dive right into it. So you guys are going to see in the far left, I'm just looking over this side, by the way, because this is where I have my laptop, so apologies if I am looking away. So in Q2 2022, what we do have is the lobby selection. You guys probably do know about this one, or at least some of you will. This is a direction that we wanted to go to kind of have a bit of a preliminary player controlled type aspect to where a little bit of strategy does come into play. So this one should be coming out very, very soon. I'm excited to announce that to you guys, alongside a couple of other things as well. It will be a decent sized update. Now we do have something else below the lobby selection. However, with the lobby selection, I'll just mention that basically what will happen is that you guys will be able to choose the types of lobbies that you enter, meaning the type of statistics of the lobby that do match your certain Pega. There will be a little bit more strategy involved instead of just random selected lobbies. So get excited for that one. It's going to really shift up the game, potentially even shift up the meta. Some of those Pega that you thought weren't too good or weren't performing too good, you may now actually have a chance or a better chance. So that one's coming very, very soon. And likely there will be an announcement following this video about that. Secondly, you're going to see there drop system and drop racing. This is a new one. Potentially someone's leaked it. I'm not too sure. I can't keep up with all the messages. However, this one's very, very interesting, and it's a new mechanic that not a new mechanic to the entire industry, just a new mechanic to us that we thought of a little while back and have been trying to, I guess, gradually wean into the game. Now, this is going to be the first iteration, and things will change as the third one does come in that you see, that is loot boxes and items. Things are going to change, of course, as the game does develop as well, but drop system and drop racing, it's basically going to introduce a little bit of a change, I guess, on the racing side as well. I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil the surprise, but there's going to be something called keys, there's going to be something called boxes, so look forward to that one, guys. And then of course down the bottom you saw loot boxes and items. So again, I'm not going to go into detail into exactly what those items do. However, I'm sure a lot of you probably can guess as to what some of those boxes and those items will do. And of course, you've got to think about gacha systems and stuff as well. So this is something that a lot of you have been asking for a long time, but it is quite a complex model and something that we really need to consider appropriately, and also look at the things that are coming in the future to make sure that it all does tie in one big circle. Now we're going into Q3 here of this year. So it has stable management. Now, maybe you guys aren't aware of how this one works, but we wanted to add another vertical into the game. So something where you guys can focus on top of the racing itself. So stable management is going to come in. It will have a bit of a visual aspect initially, but it's going to be a bit more strategy as well. It's going to come with benefits and is probably going to change a lot of the core of the game. So that's quite a significant update. Will take a lot of planning, and that's what we're working on now, and it needs to tie in with everything else that we do have in the quarter 2 updates as well. So you'll then go down into the quest system. What is the quest system? It's very similar to what you guys may have experienced in other games, where you've got daily quests, weekly quests, that's a tongue twister, and then monthly quests as well. So how that one's going to work, of course, we need to think about it quite intently, and what the rewards are for doing something like that. So obviously learning from things like Axie and some of the other games where they did reward people with a utility token and stuff, we think there's probably going to be a different direction where there's potentially NFTs or something else that is gained from that one, food that will give you benefits if you do it this way. So the quest system is going to be really, really important for once we do have the completed game, for user retention and stuff like that. However, again, just the quest system makes the game fun overall as well. And, that could tie into stable management. So, you're going to have tasks inside your stable management. And then that can also relate to your quest system, breeding quests, all this type of stuff. So now we go down to the first skill-based gameplay mode. This is probably the most anticipated one that everybody wants. So you probably have seen a leak as well. I won't mention where it was. If you can find it, happy days. If you've seen it, you're very lucky. We didn't know that would get posted, but anyway, we've been working on it a little while now, and the game mechanics and making it fun, it does take a little while, and we have many ideas. So that's the reason that we have put it down at the bottom of Q3. I think from our original roadmap, that may be actually still ahead of schedule, but we do have a lot of resources since we did do that first and second roadmap. So we're going to put a significant amount of resources and time into making that at least decently fun at its first release. But of course, as you guys understood, that is and has always been the direction that we've wanted to build. So we will get there eventually. However, that's something that I'm very, very excited for. And of course, we're always aiming for mobile native. So most of these developments, if not all of these developments, are going to transition into being potentially even coming out on mobile first. A lot of the attention, a lot of the details, a lot of the updates are going to be transitioning over to the mobile side, and quite exciting now that mobile is actually an open beta, which is amazing, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it. So we'll go over to Q4 now, and that's where we've got the ranking and competitions, the battle pass, and the black market. This is, for a lot of you guys, is probably new. The rankings and the competition, maybe not. This is going to relate to like Aries and global tracking, but you need something that's skill-based first. So, we can do esports competitions. The amount of esports like community gaming, they've always wanted to work with us, but we've not had that player control ability. So we're really, really excited to get that player controlled out so that we are able to do, global tournaments where you guys can actually compete against each other. We can hold tournaments even in person, have global rankings, have the best players, have guild versus guild competition. So that's really, really important. And we want to get there because we know that you guys want to have friendly or even unfriendly competition between each other and between the guilds as well. And it would be amazing to see who is the best of the best. So that's something I'm super excited for. The battle pass, that one's interesting. I won't go into too much detail because it isn't really ironed out, so I don't want to get your hopes up or take you in a wrong direction, but that's going to be very, very interesting when we do release it. So basically a fundamental to making the game sustainable and interesting long term. And then the black market. I'm probably not going to say anything about that one. That's one that I'm hyped for. But again, the black market is going to be very, very important for the game's, I guess, longevity. Once we do go towards, you guys have got to remember that this roadmap is moving towards our end goal here, which is blending normal gaming with blockchain, meaning that you don't recognize that you are interacting with NFTs or blockchain 90% of the time. Some of these systems and tools, you may need to be able to recognize that you are interacting with blockchain, but we need to get to that point where people don't recognize it. So the black market, the battle pass, all that type of stuff is really layers on top that's going to be essential to getting to that point where people don't recognize they are interacting with blockchain. But that'll come out a little bit later. Of course, that's Q4. It's a little while away. And then finally, you guys are going to see in Q1 and Q2 here, these are just rough estimates because, again, those first 3 quarters that you see there are so significant, and it's going to take a lot of resources. By the time that we have completed all of that, our new roadmap, which we probably have released by that point, these are just ideas generally for that next iteration of the roadmap. We need to get all of that other stuff done on top of everything else that we didn't add to the roadmap, and then figure out where we are. So you'll see there's gear and crafting, second skill-based gameplay mode. That's something I'm ridiculously excited for. Stadiums and farming. So stadiums is something people always talk about, which is fine. However, guys, we need to really look at what has happened in the NFT market previously with land and stadiums or buildings or that type of stuff. Not many, if any, have actually been successful in maintaining long-term value, because people will buy these assets, buy these NFTs, and it might even help the economy. That's great, fine. However, in the long term, these guys are going to get annoyed again, because the time that it takes to be able to build a game to where a stadium may be significant and have a good economic value and even be usable within the game takes so long. So we really need to get there, and we really need to develop, and we don't want to rush it, because we can rush it now and satisfy you guys in the short term, but in the long term, you're going to end up hating us again because it takes so long to develop. So that's why we have pushed that back. We made that decision. It is what it is. We think everything else previous to that is far more significant and makes a far more solid foundation. The stadiums on top of that are a bit of a, I guess, an accessory. But we need to have everything before that. The crafting and the gear as well is something that we had always talked about. However, it's very complex. So we need to make sure that we do execute it correctly and, again, have a solid foundation. If we do these things that are amazing ideas and take forever to build, and we don't have a solid foundation, you really can't do everything that you wanted to do. So again, like I mentioned, the gear and the stadiums and stuff like that, they have been pushed back, but obviously for good reason. If we rush them, it's not going to end well. So that basically does wrap it up. Hopefully it does answer your questions, but we will have deeper explanations of most of the roadmap anyway, so you guys don't need to worry too much. I may even host an AMA. However, our team, customer support, all well clued in with all of this, and we're going to try and update you guys as much as possible along the way. You're building this with us in real time, so again, thank you guys so much for your support. It's honestly been incredible. It's so amazing being able to see the team here. They definitely feel your support, so please honestly keep it up. And hopefully this is exciting to you guys, because the skill-based gameplay is really not that far away, which is super exciting. I wish I could leak it to you guys, but unfortunately I would get killed. But again, I'm excited, and also excited for the global rankings and the tournaments. It's going to be ridiculous. I can't wait to verse you guys. But other than that, please stay tuned. There's going to be plenty more updates, and I will speak to you again soon. Peace.